All right. Well, welcome to the Wednesday webinar with restaurant growth. Today, we're going to talk about transforming restaurant culture, engaging the triad of team dynamics. So raise your hand or just say me in the chat if you know deep down that your restaurant can be more, that you can be more. Type in the chat, me. Let's get some me's going here. Me. That you know deep down that your restaurant could be more, that you could be more. I'm gonna tell you, you're in the right room. And every Wednesday, we get together on these Wednesday webinars to give you new tools, new training, and new coaching to help you move in that right direction. So let's start off with one of my favorite quotes, because I always have to warn everybody. All business problems are people problems. You probably heard me say this 1,000 times in a whirl, and especially if you've been on these calls every week, say the same thing. All business problems are people problems. So also stick around. We got a little free gift for you at the end of this seminar, at the end of this webinar for you. Something really fun for you. I got a new one for you. I always try to give you guys a little bit of extra value for sticking around. Hanging out with me for an hour on a Wednesday is always fun. Let's go over the rules. If this is your first time on the webinars, let's go over the ground rules. Number one, have some fun, please. You will learn a little bit better if you have a little bit of fun. Number two, take notes. Research has shown if you write stuff down in your own handwriting, you are 70% more likely to remember the information 30 days from now, and that is important. Number three, when you take notes, follow up and take some action. Remember, if you don't apply what you've learned, then you really haven't learned anything. Knowledge, contrary to popular opinion, is not power. Application of knowledge is power. And every once in a while during this presentation, during this webinar, you'll hear me say the magic words, hashtag WTSD. What does hashtag WTSD mean? If you know what it means, write it in the chat. Please write this shit down. That's the gold nuggets. That's the stuff I want you to remember. And so every once in a while, I'll nudge you and say, hey, hashtag WTSD. That's the important stuff. If this is your first time on the webinar, I am Donald Burns. I am the restaurant coach. I am a recovering restaurant owner. I am also a restaurant consultant. I've consulted big, huge, multi-billion-dollar food service brands, Cisco Foods, US Foods, Shamrock Foods. I'm also a chef. I was a chef when I had my own restaurants. I was also a chef with Wolfgang Puck for a number of years. I'm a restaurant investor, and I'm a former member of the U.S. Air Force Pararescue Teams. And I'm also an author, probably best known for my Your Restaurant Sucks trilogy. My latest book came out in January. It's called Savage Restaurant Success. And then we have a new book coming out at the end of this month, actually, maybe possibly early July. Depends on if my editor can get it together in time. A new book coming out called Ingredients. But like a lot of people, I started off in the restaurant business at the age of 15. My father was a chef. I apprenticed with him. At 18, he told me it was in my blood. I said, I want a transfusion. I don't want to do this. That's when I went into the military, got into pararescue, got out, went to college, got jobs in restaurants in college because I had experience from high school. And then I found out something amazing. I love the restaurant industry. And I decided to really make it my focus of my career. When I was 30, I opened my first restaurant. This is my very first restaurant, small little place in Michigan, 50 little seats, open kitchen. I will tell you, it was the love of my life and also the biggest pain in my side, because I thought that all you need to do to open a restaurant was just know how to run a restaurant. And I did not know how to build a profitable brand. Even though I had worked in some famous places in Santa Fe with award-winning chefs, Mark Miller, Coyote Cafe, I thought that was all I needed. And then I quickly realized that that was not what I needed. Having great food and great service is one thing, but not knowing how to build a profitable brand and how to run a business was killing me. I was very, very fortunate that I got a business mentor, actually a businessman who came to my restaurant. Maybe he felt sorry for me. Maybe he saw I was struggling. Maybe he saw that I was in over my head and I was like being in quicksand. And if you've ever been thrown in quicksand, most people just want to fight to get out. But the harder you fight, the faster you sink. And unfortunately for restaurant owners, our way of fighting is we just throw more hours at it. We think we can outwork the problem. So I was like everyone else, started going in early, staying late, neglecting my health, neglecting my family, neglecting my kids, my marriage. And it all came to a head. And luckily, this man pulled out a napkin one night and talked to me. And he set me on the path to what I do now. And it is a game-changing framework that we're going to share with you. So what if I showed you how to build a team that could help you reach all your goals. Who's in for that? Say all in. Type in the chat all in if you would like me to show you a way to build a team that can help you achieve all your goals so you're not working in the restaurant all the time. Say all in, all in, all in. There we go. There we go. All in, all in. We're in. We're in. Okay. Hashtag write this down. If I gave you a combination lock and said open the lock, could you open a lock? Probably not. But if I gave you the combination, you can open the lock whenever you want. My job as a coach is to give you the tools, training, and coaching to unlock this lock. This is what I call the combination of restaurant success. And this is the thing that my very first business mentor, that businessman who sat me down on that one Thursday night 28 years ago, talked to me and showed me the light. This is what he told me. Donald, the key to restaurant success is people, product, and process. And just like that combination lock, you have to have them in the right order. The problem with most restaurants is we have them in the wrong order. When you have them in the wrong order, it does not open the lock. And what I want to do is I want to help you open this lock every single time. And to do that, you got to have these things in the right order. Okay? It is always people, then product, and then process. Now, you look at this kind of framework here, and this is not only just a process map, it's also a strategic plan. It's also a way to prioritize and also how to kind of get unstuck. Everyone kind of looks at their pain point. And when you look at this 3P framework, you're going to see like wherever your pain is, that's where your eyes are going to be drawn to. For most of you, it's profitability. For some of you, it's a little bit of marketing. Luckily, Luke and Michael and all the team over there at Restaurant Growth and SkyTel can help you fix that problem. Or you might be looking at the hiring thing and saying, Donald, I just need help hiring. I need some better people. I need people. My schedule is like a skeleton. I can't get these people to show up. There's no good people out there. Well, we're going to fix that. The program has been drawn out. So I've taken that 3P framework and I created 14 years ago, I created this Restaurant Accelerator program. And this Restaurant Accelerator program is the fastest path to go from working in your restaurant to working on your restaurant. A lot of consultants say it all the time. You need to work more on your restaurant, less in your restaurant. Well, how do you do that? Well, this is exactly how you do it right here. Right now, today, I'm going to take you into a little bit what we call about the culture piece. What we have a whole workshop. It's called the Know Why workshop. Everything you see on here is a series of workshops. Team 1 is a series of workshop, Know Why, talent attraction, food cost boot camp, extreme menu maker, marketing machine, restaurant track, restaurant maps. We call them strat maps, and also profit clinic. These are all a series of workshops. Okay. Here's a good quote for you. In the restaurant game, culture isn't part of business. It is the business. Hashtag WTSD, write that shit down. In the restaurant game, culture isn't part of business. It is the business. It's what turns a crew into a team, a meal into an experience. You got to get the culture right. When you get the culture right, everything else will follow. And here's the downside. Now, I've talked about this on a former webinar. It's hard to get people to buy in on culture. Why? It doesn't really have any tangible results. It's like not marketing. Like Luke and Michael and his team can run ads and you can see, oh, we got traffic. We got people looking at our stuff. We got people clicking through. I can see stuff like that. I can see sales improving. That's tangible stuff. Culture is one of those hidden elements that has a huge impact on everything else. In that 3P framework, the people part is the foundation that sets up the product part, which sets up the profitability part. Remember, it's like building a house. Culture is the foundation. You would not build a 5-story house, move your family into the top if you had a weak, cracked foundation. Well, I hope you wouldn't. But if we don't fix the foundation to have this thing solid, we're never going to be able to build our brand, our empire up to where we want it to be. So if you want more profit, build the culture. I will tell you I've done this with thousands of restaurants, almost 3,000 restaurants now. It is a process that works. And that 3P framework is not a linear thing. When you looked at that 3P framework, you saw people, product, process. The thing I want you to remember is that the 3P framework is actually like an infinity loop. Everything feeds everything else in this map, right? People feeds product, product feeds process, process feeds product, product feeds people. They all work together like an infinity map. When you have everything solid, especially the people in the process part, it actually protects and insulates your product. That's what we want to do. We want to protect your brand. I always kind of say the product is my brand. So let's talk about the heartbeat of change. Okay. Change. How many people like change? Type in the chat. Do you like yes or no? Do you like change or not change? Do you like change or don't like change? Type in yes or no. You like change or don't like some? Oh, wow. Some people like change. You're one of the few people. How many people think that their team likes change? Yeah, someone said, yeah, your team hates change. You love change. Here's like the big conundrum between a restaurant owner and their team. You love change. Your team hates change. They resist change. They do not look forward to change. Hashtag write this down. This is a huge one. Our restaurant and our lives do not get better by chance. They get better by change. And it just takes one action, one letter to go from chance to change. Hashtag write that down. Our restaurants and our lives do not get better by chance. They get better by change. And it just takes one thing, one trigger, one action, right? One thing to make it happen. I love this picture right here because it just shows you can go from chance to change. Just one thing, one domino sometimes gets the whole thing going in the right direction, right? My job as your coach is to figure out what that domino is so I can help you push that domino over, and then we can just unlock everything, open the floodgates to profitability and having everything you want in your life. All right. In the trenches of the restaurant industry, I will tell you right now, it's not the walls, it's not the decor, it's not even the food that really makes or breaks a restaurant, it's the culture. Culture is the heartbeat of your restaurant. It pulses through the veins of your team and it echoes in the experience that goes to your guests. Culture flows down, it does not flow up. Right? Culture is created by you. Culture is energy. You ever been to a restaurant? And even though, I've done this before. I walked into a restaurant, beautiful design. Award-winning design, beautiful bar, beautiful aesthetics, great art on the wall. The tables look immaculate, beautiful, beautiful china, but just felt like something was off. You ever had that experience before? Type in the chat, me, if you've ever had that experience. You just walk in a restaurant, and you just felt like maybe the energy was off a little bit. Just like, everything looked great, but just kind of felt like there was just something missing. That thing that's missing is atmosphere. Atmosphere is created by energy. Energy is culture, right? It's so important that you understand that. Changing culture in a restaurant can feel like you're trying to turn the Titanic around. You can see, it's like you're on the deck of the Titanic. You can say, like, it's like me and Luke on the deck, and like Luke says, "Hey, Donald, I think that's an iceberg ahead." I'm like, "Nah, we're gonna miss it." And Luke's saying, "You should probably turn." I'm like, "Oh, it's not gonna hit us. It's not gonna sink our ship. It's just a little iceberg. How bad could it be? We're a huge boat, man. What's that little iceberg gonna do? A lot more damage than you think, right? Change is tough. It's not impossible, especially when you have a plan. And what we're going to talk about is the triad of team dynamics. So the triad of team dynamics is a pretty straightforward thing. It's called the 3 C's. It is communication, collaboration, and commitment. I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole on each one and understand why they are so important and how you can start implementing these tools today to start getting your team moving in the right direction. All right. Going from chance to change is not easy, but it can be done. So part 1, communication, that is the first pillar. The first pillar of transformation. I'm a huge believer in the power of words. Words to me are extremely powerful. When I look at certain words, I see certain things, like the word transformation. To me, transformation means this: you must transcend the form. If you want transformation, you need to transcend who you are, what you believe, what your existence is now. You must transcend the form into a new version of yourself. Have you ever heard this saying before? For every level, every new level, there's another devil. Well, for every new level, there's another level that requires a new set of skills. It requires a new version of you to accomplish. That's why so many restaurant owners get stuck, is that you're trying to get to the next level with the mindset the tools that you have right now. And unfortunately, from where you are to where the next level, there's a gap. Without new tools, new training, new coaching, you're not going to be able to bridge the gap on your own. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. It takes a lot of energy, effort, and a lot of resilience to be able to make that gap. But coaching makes that easier to bridge that gap from where you are to that next level, because there's always a gap between the tools that you need to go from where you are to where you want to be. All right, so let's cut the crap and get real. Communication in most restaurants sucks. Let's be honest. All right, I said it. You got the back of the house not talking to the front of the house, servers not communicating with the bartenders. Please don't even get me started without the relationship between the management and the staff. It's like watching a bad soap opera without the option to change the channel. Hashtag, write this down. Communication is the backbone of any thriving organization, any thriving restaurant. Communication is the key. It is what turns a group of individuals into a unified team. It allows you to be able to deliver exceptional guest experience consistently. But let's not sugarcoat it. Effective communication is one of the biggest challenges that you face. Misunderstandings, assumptions, lack of information can create a toxic environment that seeps into every single interaction, both within the team and with your guest. So, how do you overhaul your communications and create an environment of clarity and understanding? Let's go back to our statement here. I said this at the very, very beginning. All business problems are people problems. Hashtag, write this down. This is the other side of that equation. All people problems are communication problems. All right. How does this start? How do we start this change? How do we get communication going the right way? It starts with transparency. Transparency is the first thing we have to understand. The first step to transformation, especially having transformative communication, is transparency. In the heat of service, transparency might not seem like your best friend, but it is the foundation for trust and reliability within your team. Trust, reliability, respect, right? Regular updates. Keep your team in the loop with regular updates about the business, changes in the menu, policy updates, even your financial health. I know a lot of restaurant owners don't like to share their financial health with their team because they think they're protecting the team, but they got to know, man, if you're like, things are, hey, we got to watch the labor, things are a little tight. Sales have been a little bit, sluggish. We're working with Michael and we're working with Luke, at Restaurant Growth. We're trying to get our marketing going, but hey, right now it's going to be a little tight next week or two. I really need your help. Watch the overtime. Make sure you're being productive. Be proactive. I need the team to be on board with me, especially if I'm moving my needles in the right financial direction. When your team understands the state of the business, they can actually help you, right? Especially the people that really have buy-in. Open forums. Every once in a while, you want to have kind of an open forum where the team members can discuss concerns, maybe have suggestions. Sometimes I do like just a box. Where I let people basically have a suggestion box, and they can make it anonymous. All right. I try to have something every quarter. I like to do employee surveys, send out open surveys to the team where they can anonymously give me feedback on how we're doing as owners, how we're doing as leaders. I love that kind of stuff. The key here is to listen, right? And when you listen, you find something that's a gold nugget, a viable, good suggestion, then execute on it and act on it. That shows your team that you actually are listening to them and that their voice matters. The next thing up is you got to foster two-way communication. Oh, please. Effective communication isn't about just passing on information. That's a transaction. It's about exchange and interaction. Hashtag, write that down. Effective communication is about exchange and interaction. You have to create a culture where every voice heard is critical, right? So how do we do this? Implement, again, that structured feedback system. Offer tools like anonymous surveys, feedbacks, make it easier. You also want to start scheduling regular one-on-ones with the team, right? Regular one-on-ones are very, very critical. I try to do a quarterly performance review with my team, and every week you just have maybe a 2-3 minute just conversation with your team. How do I know if someone's approachable? How do I know if you're communicating with your team or not? Here's an easy way to do it. Walk up to someone on your team today just randomly and say, hey, you got a minute to talk? If they look shocked, like, oh no, what did I do? That means you don't talk to your team enough, right? You got to talk to your team a little bit more. Okay. Got to have those regular one-on-ones. You also have to have some enhanced communication training. Here's the thing about communication. No one teaches this stuff. We assume, and you know what they say about assumptions, it makes an ass out of you and me. We assume everyone knows how to effectively communicate. The reality is that people suck at communicating. Invest in communication tools. Take communication programs. LinkedIn Learning is probably the most powerful things out there to get your team some stuff on learning how to communicate better. Focus on what's known as active listening, conflict resolution, and what we also call is expressive communication. That's where I learned how to use my tone and my voice as an amplifier, as a megaphone. I mean, imagine how it was we got on this webinar and I was like, all right, hey everybody, welcome to the Wednesday webinar. I'm Donald, and today I'm going to take you through the triad of team dynamics. Right? That would suck. Half of you would drop off by now. It'd be like, I'd be start off with 45 people and I got like 3 left. 3 people that really don't have nothing else to do. All right. Yeah, you got to be able to do it. All right. And someone said, you got to know Spanish for all that? You don't have to know Spanish for all that. How do I know this? All right. I don't know if you guys can you guys see my, can you see me? Can you see me? What, put your, type in the chat, yes, if you can see my screen or you can see me on camera. Can you see me on camera? Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm going to show you something that is like going to blow you away. All right. If everyone can see me, I'm going to show you something and blow you away. Because someone said, well, Donald, I don't speak Spanish. How am I going to communicate with my team? If you jumped on this call early, you heard Luke and I talking about AI, right, Luke? AI. There is a powerful tool out there with AI, right? Watch this video and then tell me what you think. That's serios. Piénsalo. Nadie que haya logrado algo espectacular. That's my voice on a video that I did in English. So how did I do that? I use an app called Captions. Captions AI has a dubbing app on there that I can take my video, I can add it to that video, and I can easily upload it. Here, I'll play a video so you hear it. Can you hear it now?
A little bit.
Mundo de la propiedad de restaurantes. Make it a little louder. ¿Estás buscando alcanzar estas alturas celestiales del éxito de la industria? Prepárate para caminar a través de algunos infiernos serios. It's so cool. It's so cool. So when people say, oh, I can't communicate with my team because I don't speak Spanish, trust me, shoot a video. I had a call this morning with one of our accelerator members, and she had the same problem. She's like, how do I communicate my things with my team? I said, just shoot a video real quick. Tell your concerns, have it translated in Spanish, and then you can easily upload it and share it with the team. No excuses. All right, cool. So it's pretty amazing stuff that's going on out there. Active listening workshops. Go to LinkedIn Learning, Google, go to YouTube, find some actively listening workshops. Learn workshops how you can understand active listening skills. The most powerful way to learn active listening is do this. I usually have a notebook on my desk, and all my coaching calls, I'm taking notes. All my clients in the accelerator program know this rule too. You want to hand out notebooks to your team. The rule is this: if I'm talking, you're writing down what I'm saying. If you're talking, I'm taking notes and listening what you say. Actively writing notes is the best way to be an active listener. So actively take notes. Right? It will change the whole format of communication in your place. Right? Can you put the link into that app? Yeah, it's Captions. And I know it's on the iPhone. Maybe Luke can find it for you guys. Conflict resolution is another thing. Conflict is inevitable. If you work in the restaurant business and you don't like conflict, you're going to have to get over yourself, because you're in the restaurant business, there's going to be conflict. So you have to accept it. One of the best books out there is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. Radical Candor by Kim Scott, probably one of the best books out there for understanding how to actually use conflict constructively and how to use it to push forward. Kim Scott also has a course on LinkedIn Learning that you can actually watch and learn how to be a better person at conflict resolution. Another thing you want to do is utilize technology. We talked about a little bit of this already. Technology streamlines and enhances communication. Digital scheduling, task management systems, using Slack. I know Luke, those guys, all tech guys love Slack. I'm still getting used to Slack, but Luke and Michael are getting me used to Slack. I'm getting into it. I'm starting to integrate it. I'm starting to use it. Yeah, I'm getting there. Rick, technology reduces communication barriers and ensures everyone stays on the same page. Digital notice boards are also a huge thing, especially using platforms like 7 Shifts, things like that, where you can post schedules, updates, send out important announcements, and also make sure you have something that has a ability for people to make suggestions or things like that. We talked about that earlier. But the biggest thing I'll tell you about communication apps is this. All right, communication apps is this. Write down these 3 numbers: 7, 38, 55. 7% of how we communicate is the word we use itself. 38% is the tone we use, and 55% is nonverbal. If you send out all your messages to your team on text message, or you send out just emails to everyone, you are missing the most important elements of communication, which is the 38 tone and 55%. Luke and I and Michael, we have a weekly call that we get on a Google Meet, all right? But we meet on Zoom, we meet on video, and so we can see each other's faces and talk to each other. Now, we send important information all week long through Slack, through like stuff. It's just like, but it's all just information. Like, hey, don't forget that this is on Wednesday. Hey, send me this thing, send me that thing. Cool. Did you get this? I got that. Basic information. Anything that needs to be explained, anything that has to have like some real like explanation behind it, you want to get on video, or you want to get face-to-face with somebody. This is the most important thing. If most of your communication is only text messages and emails, or you put out that angry memo in the employee break room because you're pissed off, you're only 7% effectively communicating. Okay. Revamping your communication is not hard. It's actually pretty easy. It isn't about just talking more. It's about creating a system where information flows freely. It's about feedback. It's about actively encouraging people where everybody feels heard and valued. Transparency, encouraging two-way conversation, enhancing your communication skills, actually taking time to learn to be a better communicator. Using a little bit of technology to help it, that can actually really, dynamically transform your communication into a more cohesive, motivated, and efficient team. That's what we're looking for. I need a team that's cohesive, motivated, and efficient. When your team communicates well, trust me, your guest feels the difference. It's not just an internal benefit. It's about creating an exceptional dining experience that guests will rave about. We want to turn people into one-time diners into raving fans, where they actually talk about our brand online. Call it user-generated content. Luke can do a whole segment of just user-generated content. It is like user-generated content. Testimonials are the best thing in the world, because it's not you saying you're good. It's other people saying, man, this place is amazing. I love the food here. The ribs are amazing. Best ribs I ever had in my life. That goes so far. Let's make miscommunication and misunderstandings a thing in the past, because your restaurant's success depends on it. Part 2 of our triad: collaboration, building bridges. Oh, let's see. Collaboration in the restaurant environment, I tell you, it's about creating synergy. It's about creating synergy between the different areas. It's about creating teams that produce an amazing experience. When your staff works in harmony, it not only improves the culture, the atmosphere, but here's the thing, it also improves efficiency. There's less mistakes, less waste, which, if you're looking at the bottom line, mistakes and waste kick your ass as far as eating your profits. Okay? Reduces errors. It also boosts guest satisfaction. When your team is communicating on all cylinders and you have a steady flow of really great communication, and collaboration, your guest experience scores go up. Your reviews go up. You start getting better reviews. You want to foster a collaboration, right? And here's the thing. Collaboration in a restaurant is sometimes a big challenge. And a lot of these reasons are our own self-induced stuff, especially when, you know, and I'm a big believer in words. And I will tell you this, watch the words you say. A lot of times we set ourselves up for failure and miscommunication by doing one thing by the words we use. How many people call the kitchen team the back of the house? How many people call the front of the team front of the house? BOH, FOH. How many people do that? Say me. If you use FOH, BOH. Yep. Here's a big thing I'll tell you. You're already dividing the team up. You've already pitted them against each other. Classic confrontational of all time. It's always front of house versus back of house, day staff versus night staff, location 1 versus location 2 or location 3. We do this to ourselves by the words we use. I never, ever use the word back of the house when I'm talking to my team. I call them the culinary team. I call my service team the service team, right? Watch the words you use. You tend to put up these dividers, these invisible walls already. And how do we stop this? Use what we call as trigger phrases. All my clients in the Accelerate program know we have a series of trigger phrases. Trigger phrases are things that we say to get the team back in alignment. Think of a trigger phrase like a sharpening steel. Now, everyone knows if you're a chef, a sharpening steel doesn't sharpen your knife. It just puts it back in alignment really quick. A trigger phrase is the same thing. When I see the team going off track, going off culture, drifting, I put them back in alignment with a trigger phrase. A trigger phrase is something I say to get them back on the same page. The most powerful trigger phrase you can say when your team does something that's like fighting, or, it's us against them, day staff, well, the servers didn't do this, or the line cooks didn't do this, or day staff didn't do it. As soon as you start hearing this bullshit, you stop it by saying this. Hashtag write this down. One team, one fight. Hashtag that will change everything in your restaurant. Just write this down. Write down one team, one fight. When they start arguing, you say, whoa, time out. One team, one fight. Think about this. It's not the front of house versus back of house. It's not the day staff versus the night staff. It is one team, one fight. It is your brand pulling together to fight the other restaurants in your market that are trying to steal your market share. That's the fight. Stop fighting with yourself. Stop fighting internally and start putting your energy where it is. We need to start fighting where the real battle is. It's not within your team. Not day staff, night staff. No, you stop this bullshit. It's us against the other restaurants in our market that are trying to steal our market share. Because the more fights you have inside, the more you're going to lose business. There's a great quote out there. It says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. That is so true. Stop fighting with your team. Stop fighting with yourself. Okay? Stop fighting with your partners. One team, one fight. It'll change your life. So, team building. Let's talk about some team building activities. Team building is critical to bringing down barriers and fostering a spirit of unity. One team, one fight. These activities can be more than just fun. They actually can be relevant. They can be impactful. Like we have leadership training we do with all my members. We have, like right now, we're doing an 8-week program called Becoming a Positive Leader. It's included with the Accelerator members. They get this 8-week training program for their leadership team. And it's a great way. And a lot of people do it interactively where they'll get together, like the calls on Tuesday, they'll get everyone together in a group and they'll put it up on Zoom. They'll watch the training together and then they'll talk about it. Or they'll give people homework and then they'll talk about it. It's a great way to get your team together. Okay. Team training is powerful because it lets them know that you're invested in learning, growing, and developing as a unit. The last thing you want to do is give people a task. Like, let's say like Luke is like one of my managers and I have this, Becoming a Positive Leader workshop that Donald's doing. And Luke, and I go up to Luke, I go, hey, Luke, man, hey, I signed you up for this 8-week Becoming a Positive Leader workshop. Luke's like, great. One more thing on my list I have to do now. It's not I'm not doing 100 other things already running a restaurant. Now you want me to stop and do what, an hour a week? And I have to do homework? Oh my God, this is horrible. Do not give people tasks. Ask them to join you. How is instead of going that to Luke, I say, hey Luke, man, I signed you up for this 8-week, becoming a positive leader. What if I did this, Luke? Hey Luke, man, I found out there's this restaurant coach I've been working with, and he's got this 8-week leadership thing. I would really be honored if you would sit in with me, just take an hour out of your week, sit in with me, and you and I can watch it together, and then we can actually take some notes on how we can actually build our team a little bit more solid. Would you be down for doing that? Now I got Luke in. Now he's committed. Oh, that sounds cool, man. Yeah, I'm in. What time is it? It's on Tuesdays. It's right after lunch. We got time. We can sit down. If we can't make the call, we can watch the replays and we can sit down and watch it together and we can go over it. Does that sound cool? Yeah, now I got commitment. All right. That's what we need. Right. Other things you can do to be team building. Sometimes you can do, and it depends on your brand. Sometimes I like to do what I call role reversal. Sometimes if it's slow, I might like have some of the kitchen team go out and help out in the front of the house, and I might have some of the service team go in the back of the kitchen and help the culinary team out, just so they can see what other people do, because everyone always thinks that the other people have it easy. The culinary team always thinks, oh, the service people, the servers, man, they got it so easy. And the service team thinks the culinary team, oh, those guys got it so easy. And do a little role reversal sometimes. Let people walk a little bit in someone else's shoes. It's really a fun thing to do. And then a lot of times I like to have a little bit of competition. Sometimes I like to, have the staff compete about maybe like the service team. I might have like a rodeo kind of thing, like who can set the table up the fastest, who can pre-bust the table. Like I put a dirty table out there and went slow, and it's like we're gonna do a stopwatch and time people. I like when I used to be a chef, I used to like to have kitchen like challenges with the team, like who can slice a box of mushrooms the fastest and put a stopwatch on it. Now be careful, because sometimes you're using knives, and I've seen people cut some appendages off doing that really fast. So, but you can have some fun, right? Maybe creating a new cocktail, maybe plating up a new dish, and reward the winner with small incentive gift cards, maybe like the choice of an extra shift or a day off, things like that. Competitions should focus on teamwork and creativity. Another thing you want to make sure you're doing is celebrate collective successes. Recognize and celebrate success significantly enhances the collaborative spirit. Share achievements, foster a sense of communal victories, right? Praise in public. Hashtag write this down. Praise in public, coach in private. Never ever coach your team in front of other team members. It embarrasses them. And when you embarrass them, you lost respect. And when you lose respect, now you're the enemy. Praise in public, coach in private. Right. A lot of times I'll set up maybe like an achievement wall, or I call it like the wall of fame. Maybe I have like, an achievement wall, post pictures. I put people's pictures up of their families. Like maybe like the biggest thing we do is like, we talk about business so much, but celebrate life with people, celebrate life with your team. Like maybe Luke has some kids, and like maybe it's this, he has a kid, it's their birthday. I got some, hey, we want to say happy birthday to Luke's son. I mean, that's huge, right? Maybe like, Michael's, is Michael married yet? Or is he getting married? Michael's married, right?
Yep, he's married.
So maybe like we know, like maybe it's Michael's anniversary. So we do a big team thing. Hey, happy anniversary to Michael and his wife. You want to celebrate big victories. Let people know that you know what's going on in their lives and you're celebrating their lives. Okay. Have a structured collaborative process too. This talks about how do we get the team working together. Cross-training is a great thing. You should implement regular cross-training sessions where people on their stations get to help out each other people, especially on a line. The biggest thing I get frustrated about and drives me crazy is when I go back and I'm at a site visit on a client's restaurant, and I'm going back and I watch the kitchen team, and like the saute guy is going down in flames and the grill guy is standing there watching him and laughing at him, not helping him. I say, why don't you jump in and help him? Oh, I'm not trained on saute. Well, that's the biggest mistake in the world. Right? Everyone should help each other out. I love seeing like the prep cooks, the line cooks. I love seeing those team members going back and helping the dishwasher when he gets busy. Right? That's huge stuff. One of the things I also do is I like to have a collaborative process. I like to do like an interview committee. If I'm interviewing someone, I like to put it through like people on my team. So when I had my restaurants, the interview process was this. Usually the general manager interviewed first. Then, depending on what their job was. If it was like for the service team, the general manager interviewed him. It was for the culinary team, my chef interviewed him. After they did the initial interview, then they went to a team interview where I had a panel of people that was like a dissection of the team. I had some people on the service team, some people on the culinary team. It was usually 2 and 2. So they did an interview with whatever department they're going into. Then they did an interview committee. And if they passed the interview committee, then they finally interviewed with me. That's how you got on my team. I made it a process to get on my team. And then people felt like it was a great process because now they felt like they earned a spot in the team because they had to go through some hoops. Right? It's a great thing to do. Communication tools are another thing. You got to use a lot of different tools. We talked about integrated software stuff, but again, keep it digital, but keep it simple. Don't do any complex stuff there. Another great project management tool to get your team on board is using digital project management tools. One of my favorite ones that we teach the accelerator program at advanced levels is called Trello. Trello boards are the most powerful things in the world. Why? Is a digital organizational tool. So this is one of the Trello boards we use for our accelerator program. It's called 10x targets. And they have in there like different columns. The columns are called lists. And in the list, they have different things. Like they have financial goals, guest experience targets, operational metrics. We got KPIs, marketing growth goals. We got training development stuff. We got personal development plans. And the beautiful thing about Trello boards is that I can invite people on my team to look at the boards. They can contribute. They can access this stuff. They can add checklists. They can add downloads. They can add uploads. They can add files. It is a robust, huge, huge way to implement and get the team on board. Trello is such a versatile tool. It really enhances team collaboration and it helps them maintain their focus on the goals. Most of the time as the owner, you're the one focused on the goals and the team's just kind of trying to fight for table scraps. You want to make sure that you're using these kind of tools. It is, number one, I love it because it's a visual organizing tool. Trello boards, Trello cards, it's a highly visual way to organize tasks, also do projects. It also offers real-time updates and transparency. It lets the team be on board of what our goals are, what our targets are. It's easy to use. After about a week of using it, everyone gets on board pretty fast. And it actually integrates with tools like Slack, integrates with tools like Google Drive, integrates with like your business calendar. So if you put due dates on there, it automatically shows up on people's calendars. And also I can assign boards or assign tasks to certain people. Let's say like we have a Trello board with Luke and Michael and I could put a task on Luke and have him assigned to it. He would get a notification that this is his project and that when it's due. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's super customizable. Helps me track milestones, helps me track motivation. It really will support a flexible structure for project management, enhances collaboration. It's going to basically help us break through that transparency, and it helps us maintain our focus on achieving goals and hitting targets, because that's the whole name of the game. It's not just setting the goal, but can you hit the goal, right? Building a collaborative culture in your restaurant isn't about making the team just work together better. It's about creating an environment where collaboration is as natural as breathing. You want to have a structured team building activities. I just had someone recently, one of my members in the accelerator program, they just had a kickball tournament. They have a couple locations and they did a kickball tournament between the different locations. It was a great time. They shot some videos. They got a lot of team stuff going. They had some hot dogs, hamburgers. They had a really fun time they were closed on Mondays. Everyone got together. It was a really great thing, right? You want to start building up this collaborative process. Remember, a collaborative restaurant isn't just a pleasant place to work. It is a powerful competitive advantage. One team, one fight. It's going to translate to a better guest experience. That's going to translate into a more successful and more profitable business. Let's move beyond individual achievements. Let's foster a culture where the team victory is everyone's victory. And your restaurant's going to be a lot better. And then part 3 of our pillar to build the triad is commitment. right? Commitment in the restaurant industry is that unwavering dedication that drives team members to push through even the busiest shifts and the toughest days. It's what keeps your staff coming back day after day with a smile, ready to give their all. But here's the thing, building this level of commitment doesn't happen by accident. When we're talking about chance to change, it requires a deliberate action. It requires a supportive environment, and you have to encourage loyalty and enthusiasm. How do we cultivate a culture of commitment? And how can we build this? It all comes down to two words: compliance and commitment. If you miss anything on this whole call, this is the most important part of the call right here. Hashtag write this shit down, right? Compliance and commitment, two concepts that, while you think they're related, they are totally different levels of engagement and motivation. Compliance refers to a state where the team members adhere to the rules, they adhere to the policies, and they adhere to procedures. Compliance is driven by external factors, right? Policy, laws, authoritative figures, and it involves following instructions or guidelines. And the people, when they're in compliance, they do things because they don't want to lose their job. When people are in compliance, they meet the minimum standards. And they don't really have a lot of personal investment. I always say when people are in compliance, they're doing it for your reasons. Now, commitment is a deeper, it's a more internal level of engagement. Commitment involves people in believing in the goal, in believing in the values of the organization. They're willing to go above and beyond what is required. A committed team member, they are motivated by their own internal drive, because they believe in the mission, they believe in the core values, they believe in what you're doing and where you're going. Right? When you have a team that's committed and commitment, you're going to have higher performance, you're going to have higher innovation, you're going to have less call-offs, have less mistakes. Compliance versus commitment. Compliance, they do it for your reason. Commitment, they do it for their reason. That comes from understanding your culture, understanding your mission. We call it your mission, your core values, and your vision. Why do you do what you do? All right. Powerful book out there called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It will help you dig into that, why you do what you do. Right. And then how do you foster commitment as a leader? If you want to transition from compliance to real commitment, you have to adopt strategies that cultivate a positive, engaging, inclusive workplace culture. Here are some key ways to do that. Write these down. Number one, we talked about this already. Got to have that vision and your values, and you have to communicate your values on a daily basis. In the Accelerator program, when you go through the Know Why workshop, we talk about something called the Daily 5 Sermon. The Daily 5 Sermon is something you do daily. I always make the joke, it's not called the bi-weekly sermon. It's not called the monthly sermon. It's called the daily sermon for a reason. There's 5 things you preach on a daily basis. Write these down. Number 1, your mission. Number 2, your core values. Number 3, your vision, your reason why you do what you do. Number 4, your standards, expectations. And 5, words of appreciation, affirmation. So 1, mission. 2, core values. 3, vision. 4, standards, expectations. And 5, words of appreciation. And number 2, if you want to foster commitment as a leader, you have to empower people. You have to give them autonomy. Okay? Autonomy fosters innovation and commitment because employees feel trusted and valued and respected. There are 2 things you need to build a team. You don't need likability. A lot of people think you need likability. Likability is bullshit. You don't need to like everyone on your team. Only 2 things you need to have a really good team is trust and respect. Write that down. Without trust and respect, you don't have a team. You have a bunch of mercenaries. And here's the thing about mercenaries. Mercenaries go to the highest bidder. If you ever lost someone on your team because they got $1 extra down the street, or $2 or $3 or $4 more, it's because you got a team where they're just a bunch of mercenaries and they just went to the highest bidder. Mercenaries are not loyal to you. They're not loyal to your brand. They're loyal to the dollar. Right? That comes from culture. If you got people bailing on you for a couple bucks extra, you really need to take a deep, dark look at your culture and understand what can we do to make our culture better, to make people feel trusted, respected, and valued. Right? I've had people in the accelerator program, had team members that were attempted to be poached by other restaurants. And I had a guy recently, he was offered $8 more an hour. Not two, not three, $8 more an hour. And he told the other restaurant no, because he loved the restaurant he worked at. He loved the culture. He loved the place. He felt that he was on a growth path there. That's powerful. When your team members turn down $8 an hour in another restaurant because they like what you have going on at your place, now you got a culture. You got a great culture. Cultivate that sense of purpose too. Every role in your restaurant, from the service team to the culinary team to the dishwasher, and I hate the word dishwasher, by the way. I never called it, when I had my own restaurants, I never called anybody a dishwasher because I thought dishwasher was just one of those words I didn't really like. I used to call them a ceramic aquatic technician because I thought ceramic aquatic technician sounds really cool. It was great when I was interviewing. Hey, Luke, I got the perfect job for you. You're going to be a ceramic aquatic technician. You get your own office in the back. It's got water. It's really nice. And Luke's like, do I get business cards? I go, not yet. Soon. You got to help your team understand and embrace that their impact, their attitude, the culture, and the purpose has a huge, huge vision. One of the things we always want to do is have mission-driven training. Incorporate your restaurant's mission and vision into every training session, every pre-shift. Make it clear that every team member's contributions are vital to restaurant success and also to creating that memorable experience that we want for the guest. Storytelling. Luke and Michael will rave about this as far as marketing too. Storytelling is the biggest thing you can do. Regularly share stories that highlight how individual contributions have contributed to positive outcomes, whether it's a member of the service team who went out of their way to accommodate a guest dietary need, or maybe someone on the culinary team who devised a process improvement. Share stories with the team that shows that they can inspire and reinforce the value of their work. And then also you have to provide growth opportunities, right? Commitment to personal and professional growth will definitely significantly boost team commitment. If staff sees a future for themselves within your organization, they're more likely to be invested in their roles. So what do? We have clear career paths. We establish what we call personal development plans. We show your team how they can move forward from one role to another. This is the task. These are the skills that require for go from this level to this level. It could be as simple as like moving from being a line cook to a sous chef, or maybe being a server to a shift manager. There has to be a plan to help them out. And then you should always have some kind of continuing education and training. Most restaurants have a training culture. Training culture is when you train on the front end. Someone gets hired and you do like the onboarding thing, you give them 3 or 4 day training and then you turn them loose. You should have a continuous improvement plan where we're always want to learn, grow, and develop. Offer opportunities all the time for your team to learn new skills or refine existing skills. This could be doing workshops, it could be doing courses. Like accelerator members tend to share a lot of the training they learn on the accelerator program with their team. It offers new tools. Attending industry conferences, hey, showing up on Wednesday webinar is a great way to share stuff with your team. All these webinars are in your members area. You could easily share those with your team. Talk about stuff, having a leadership meeting and share one of these webinars on a Wednesday with your team could be a great way to invest in your team's development. Not only improves their capabilities, but also shows again that your team is valued. And then recognition and reward are powerful tools. I like employee of the month programs. I like spontaneous rewards. I like to make sure that you have a way to make sure that the team is constantly just rewarded. Spontaneous rewards like exceptional behavior. Here's a big thing too. Hashtag, write this down. Reward the habits that you're trying to cultivate, right? So what do I mean by that? So Luke is one of my team members, and Luke shows up this whole month. Like, let's say for the month of May, Luke had perfect attendance, was always on time, always on shift, always in uniform, 100%, always ready to rock and roll. I give him a call out. Hey, I just want to say Luke was one of our all-stars. He got perfect attendance for the month of May. Hey, for that, man, Luke, I got you a gift card for Amazon. Right? He didn't expect it. Right? It's just spontaneous. Just something, but I'm also reinforcing the behavior I want. I want good attendance. I want people to be set up for their shifts. I want people to do their side work. Reward the behavior you're trying to get them to change. It makes a big difference. And then build a supportive community. Make sure, again, you do some of those team building activities. Have maybe a health and wellness program. One of the things we tend to neglect in the restaurant industry is mental health. Show your commitment to your team's health and wellness by maybe, and I have a lot of members in the Accelerator program that have partnered up with local gyms. They offer wellness workshops. They just have people talking about things, and it doesn't have to necessarily be health and wellness, might be budgeting. The biggest thing we have in the restaurant industry is people don't know how to budget and manage their money. Most of my Accelerator program members have, like, every once in a while, they'll have one of their accountants or a financial company come in and do just a home budget course with their team to help people understand how to balance their budgets out and how to actually have a budget so they're not living paycheck to paycheck. Help people out. Okay. Help people out. Could be also maybe offering some healthier meal options on your menu or offering some things for the team. Transforming culture is no small feat. It is ambitious. It is a continuous process. It requires your dedication, your insight, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Okay. We looked at this triad of team dynamics, communication, collaboration, commitment. Each component is critical. You have to be committed to each one. Right? Communication is the lifeline of any successful restaurant. Collaboration is where we understand that it's not just single effort, it's a result of a collective endeavor. And commitment to the restaurant goals and values is what turns routine into powerful actions that really support the mission. And you'll see your profits drive up. Right? This framework is powerful when you implement it. Remember, tools are just potential. You have to pick these tools up and actually apply them if you want to have any value out of them. Each of us has our own unique way that we look at the world. The things you want to do is make sure that you are using your tools consistently. Take your notes from here. Learn how you can apply this stuff. Watch the webinar replay again. Extract more information. A lot of times when I'm doing webinars, or I'm watching webinars, or I'm on a mastermind call, I'll watch that stuff like sometimes 2 times, 3 times, because I want to extract more data out of it. Right. And before you go, here's your gift for attending. Remember I talked about that book, Start With Why? I'm gonna give you the PDF for it. So I'm gonna send it over to Luke. Luke's gonna give you the PDF for Start With Why. It's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. No excuses for not reading it, because now you got a copy of it. So you're gonna have a copy of the PDF of Start With Why. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. It will help you kind of get that vision out of your head and get it down where you can actually communicate it with your team. So before we break off real quick, let me allow you to ask you a question. All right. If I dropped you off in the middle of the woods without a map, without anything, just dropped, like I just took, like say I was like took Luke in a helicopter and just repelled him down in the middle of these woods and said, here's a bottle of water, Luke, make it back to civilization. I would probably tell you that Luke would probably say his chances were pretty slim, unless he's an expert land navigator on his own. But if I gave Luke a map and a compass, a topographical map and a compass, and I showed him how to use that map and compass, he could get out of the woods every single time. Well, for the last 14 years, my coaching program, the Accelerator program, has helped over 2,800 independent restaurants just like yours. The thing about coaching you have to remember is it provides 2 elements that you need to get from where you are to where you want to be: accountability and new tools. We talked about that gap between where you are to the next level. You need new tools and you need accountability and coaching to get to that next level. The Accelerator program is hands down the fastest way to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's a series of workshops that are going to show you how to get to that perfect roadmap down. And inside there, you also get that roadmap, but you also get a lot of other webinars and seminars and stuff like that. I give you a wealth of information, a whole series of different workshops that you can use to break free from where you are to where you want to be. Each one is guided by me. Each one has downloads. Each one has ways that you could easily navigate to get all the tools you need as far as that culture piece, that Team 1-1 team, the Know Why workshop, the talent attraction method, the food cost boot camp, street menu makeover, restaurant marketing machine about the organic game, restaurant tracks, all my downloads I have. I've collected over 400 downloads over the years. I also get the profit clinic, strap maps, everything. Plus you get a one-on-one call with one of my certified restaurant coaches. Every week, you're going to have someone that's going to help you, right? That's going to help you. Yeah. Megan said, I had a meeting with our CPA today, and she asked me if she thought the accelerator I started absolutely every time I've ever done what Donald recommends and followed the plan, we get positive results. Thank you, Megan. That's a testimonial right there, right? Hands down, probably one of the best investments you'll ever make. It's over 200 hours of video. Plus, again, you get a one-on-one call every week. Plus, you get 3 group calls a week. Every Tuesday, I teach the accelerator call. You'll be on a call with me every week. Every Wednesday, we do Wednesday webinars. Every Thursday, there's a group call that you can ask me any questions. Megan been on my group calls, on my Q&A call. You can ask me any questions. You're going to get answers to everything you want. Plus, you get a one-on-one call every other week with one of my certified restaurant coaches. And then you also can reach out to me anytime you need me. Right? All you have to do, I'm not going to make a hard sales pitch. Just speak to a member of the restaurant growth team about the Restaurant Accelerator program if you want more details, and Luke can actually tell you about it a little bit too. So any questions anybody has? I like to always open this up to any questions anybody has the last minute. Anything? Bueller? Questions? Answers? How can I help you achieve your goals? Nothing? I thought it was a Q&A thing, but all it said was yes. So I think we answered that one. Yeah. No questions? I'll turn it over to Luke then.
Donald, thank you.
It's all yours.
I know you got to run on a different call, so
yeah, actually, I got to run to the airport. I'm heading over to I'm heading to Orange County today. So I'm leaving right now, and my bags are by the front door. I'm going to actually just literally get off the call, grab my bag, jump in the car, and head to the airport, jump on a plane.
Yeah, get out of here. We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Thanks for showing up today. If I can help you out in any ways, in our members area on the restaurant growth, I'm in there. So if you have any questions that Luke doesn't know the answer to, you can always ask me questions. I try to be as active in there as possible. So if I can help you out, please let me know.
Thanks, Donald.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate you.
Yes, like Donald said, guys, there is the link in the chat I just put down there for the webinar portal community area. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out the previous recordings, those are all in the webinar portal here. I'll share my screen with you real fast just to show you guys where it is. All righty. So you guys can see my screen here on the left-hand side in the portal, and the link I just sent you. On the left-hand side, there is a training section. There's a bunch of trainings. I think we have over 100 trainings in here already. This is all the stuff that we do for a lot of our advertising clients. So you can come in here and learn everything step by step. And then also these webinars we're doing with Donald about profit margins and coaching and just operations and everything that Donald teaches in his program. These mini trainings like we're doing today are all here under the 3P framework and TRC method to boost profitability past 18%. So you'll see all the past recordings here, and we'll have the recording here from today here as well. So that'll be there for you if you or your staff want to go through these at any day and time, 24/7 access to those. And guys, if you don't have a login there, you can just click the link I put in the chat box below and do like a forget password thing. You all should be invited. But if you don't see an invite or if you have trouble logging in, simply Slack our team. If you can Slack our team, that's the best way to reach us is on Slack. We just added that a few weeks ago. It's a great way where you can message our entire team. Just a good communication tool. Of course, you can still email and text if you want to do that as well. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. Appreciate you being with us here. Let's see, Sandra. Sandra, Slack is for our clients who are in the advertising program. Sandra, I believe you are just in the coaching program, but we are actually going to be adding a Slack channel for everybody here soon, like just a big general channel where you can ask any questions. So kind of like how we have this community wall here in the portal, you can go in and just like ask any questions and people can chime in. We're going to be making a Slack channel as well, where if you have a question about literally anything in at all, anything, you can ask it in the Slack channel and other members can join and help. Um, so yes, Jess, we are going to be sending out, we're going to be putting the PDF that Donald just shared there. It'll be inside of the portal here. So for example, if I go to the last training we did last week and I go up into the top right and I click on this little folder here where it says files, you can see the PDFs right there. So you can find it right there. Sal, do you have access to the Slack channel? Sal, if you've got access to the Slack channel, that would be the best place for you to go to talk with the team about the advertising. Uh, let's see. Sal, I will send you the phone number to text. Go ahead and just text this phone number here. And that'll go to the support team. So I believe you might have been texting the wrong number. Try that number. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and notify the team here. Let's see, hold on, give me a moment. So I don't see your last one here, but you've got the thirsty turtle, right? I believe that's you. Okay, perfect. I will go ahead and let the team know. Sal, also go ahead and search your email inbox or text. Go ahead and search for Slack and just like type in the word Slack. And we actually pay for all the channels there. It's a super awesome app. Like if you guys can go to the Slack channel, that way you have access to not only your account manager, but everybody else in the team as well. And your messages won't get lost. So, Sal, go ahead and check that out. See if you've got that. Let me see if I can actually just pull this up for you right now. If anybody else has any questions at all, please let me know in the chat box. I'm here to help you for the next few minutes. Yes, all the recordings are going to be in the portal. Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, so in the portal here, at the left-hand side under 3P framework. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and jump in there. That way you can chat with the entire team. Because your account manager, Sal, might be on meetings or calls throughout the day. So I see that you've texted in. Sometimes you might not get an immediate reply, but Slack is going to get you the best straight shot to the team here. Fabio is asking, can you tell me a little bit more about restaurant mobile AI? Yes, I can. Let's go. I can actually just show you this right now, guys. I'll go ahead and actually play this video. It's a 2-minute video, Fabio, and I'll show you how the restaurant mobile AI works. Okay. It's pretty cool. Basically, well, I'll just play the video for you. It does a really nice summary. Let me know if you cannot hear the sound here, guys. Let me know if you can't hear the sound.
Successful restaurant owners. Over the past few
Sal, can you hear the sound? I'm sorry, Fabio, can you hear the sound there? Just want to make sure you can hear that. Fabio, also let me know what restaurant you have. I don't have your last name here, so I just have your first name. I think I know who you are, but I just want to make sure I got this all straight up. All right, let me play this for you guys. This is an advertising platform that we have. It's an AI advertising platform. Perfect, I got it. Yeah, that's what I thought. And you can measure store visits through a geofence. So the AI targets people who are most likely to visit your restaurant, people who are driving by, people who visit your competitors. Really cool tech. So I'm going to play this video for you, and then I'll give this to the team.
Successful restaurant owners. Over the past few years, privacy policies have changed, and organic social media reach has plummeted 95%, which makes it more difficult to acquire new guests profitably. What compounds this issue is that restaurants have seen an increase in inflation, cost of goods, and labor, which has put a strain on restaurants' bottom line. Well, we have a solution. You need our innovative, non-intrusive technology known as Restaurant Mobile Artificial Intelligence. Unlike conventional marketing and social media, Restaurant Mobile AI allows you to target people based on their daily activities and patterns. We can serve native ads on premium websites and video platforms like Netflix to people in very precise locations all the way down to the blue dot you see when you use Google Maps. Locations, stores, and even individual homes, we connect directly with Facebook Business Manager to create targeted audiences previously unavailable to you. Our Restaurant Mobile AI targets people based on their everyday habits. Think about people who drive by your restaurant often, frequently visit nearby businesses, buy from your competitors, or work nearby. This AI targeting increases guest visit frequency and lifetime value at your restaurant. Here's how it works. Our technology captures the device ID from their mobile device, and when we track their online and offline activity, we serve your ads on hundreds of thousands of websites, streaming services, and on social media. We target people within a 1 to 10 mile radius of your restaurant when they are most likely to eat, like breakfast, lunch, or dinner time. Though we can track impressions and click-throughs, the best part is our conversion visit tracker technology, where you can now measure walk-in conversions in your physical restaurant location after they see or click on your ads. Restaurant Mobile AI will lift all your digital marketing efforts, eliminate wasted spend, and deliver the return on ad spend you seek without discounts or promo codes, and without any work from you.
So that's Restaurant Mobile AI. Another cool thing about this as well is it's served on thousands of local websites. So you will, it's a different, it's a lot of a new market that you'll reach in addition to reaching people on social media. So it's another added benefit there too. It's a powerful thing, and you'll see results from that. It's something that like kind of learns around your location. So it's not like you're going to get a flood of customers in like a week or even a couple weeks, but over time it starts learning where your current customers are going, and then it starts targeting that pool of people as well. So for example, if people are visiting your restaurant, like your normal customers, and they go to, let's say, Starbucks a lot after visiting you, or if they frequently go to Starbucks as well, the AI will start targeting people who go to Starbucks a lot because seems to be a good pool of people to target. That's just an example, but yeah, it's pretty cool tech. Definitely recommend Fabio, go ahead and Slack your team there and send a message there in Slack, and we can definitely help you. Guys, any more questions for me? Anything else at all? Leave it open for a few moments here for you guys. All good? Okay. Alrighty, guys. Well, appreciate you spending about 73 minutes with me today. Thanks all for being here. We're going to be back again next week. All right. Tuesday workshops, Wednesday webinars. For those of you who are only webinar clients, ignore the workshop thing. But for those of you who are in the advertising services, workshops are on Tuesdays, webinars on Wednesdays, same day and time. And next week, the webinar topic is, this is a really good one, 40 Thieves of Food Cost. Okay, 40 Thieves of Food Cost, strategies to preserve your margins. All right, so please make it to next week's webinar, this same webinar, same day, same time. This is a huge one for most restaurants. There's a ton of margin in food costs. So that's next week, guys. Appreciate you all for being here. Thanks for your time today. All right, guys. See you later.